Hello, everyone. Welcome to your July 2023 astrology and tarot reading. My name's Bret. I'll be your guide today on the tarot tour. And I have my friend, astrologer, Cindy Dodge here to bring along the astrology aspects that will be affecting you through the month of July. And I'll be bringing the energy with it so we can put together a collective reading for all signs. And understand this is a general reading too, and time is fluid. So these things all occur at different times on our journey, and they're meant to occur for a reason. So with that in mind, take what resonates and leave what doesn't, and apply the energy to the situation as it is to you. So enough of that. I'm going to turn this over to Cindy.
Yeah, of course, Bret. As always, I'm so glad to be here. And yeah, so we're bringing you the energies of July. Couple of things happened back in June that we're going to clean up, which is obviously the sun went into Cancer, and actually here on the 30th, Neptune is going retrograde. But primarily we're going to be talking about the energies of July, and it's a really busy astrological month. Mercury is, the planet of communications, our thoughts, our mind, and it's a pretty fast moving planet. But this month in particular, it's going to be moving into two different signs, which is somewhat unusual. So it is moving fast here through the month of July. And then Mars is also changing signs. And we're going to talk about each one of these and pull a card to see what the energies bring for each one of these changes. But then kind of an overlying theme to all of these energies changing this month is that Saturn and Neptune are both in the sign of Pisces. And, the polar opposite of Pisces is Virgo. So when you look at your astrology chart, and if you don't have one or you need help with that, obviously you can contact me. But so what you really need to be looking at this month is where those hit in your chart. Where is the house that Virgo sits in, and where is the house that Pisces sits in? Because with Saturn and Neptune both being in Pisces, it's going to affect not only that house, but then its polar opposite, which would be Virgo, and where that house sits for you. So then let's see, there's a couple of other things that are going on with Chiron, and but we'll get into those as we go through this reading. So I'm going to kind of just start. Well, no, actually, I don't want to start yet. I want to pull that oracle because I love that oracle. So let's just see what the oracle tells us for the month.
Yeah, thank you, Cindy. Let's get this oracle pulled, and it is one of those things that is just amazing. All right. I'm going to cut it out of the deck. Okay. I love this. So it's card number 3, and it's called the Dissolving Light.
Dissolving light?
The Dissolving Light.
Okay.
The full moon is on the 3rd.
Yes.
Right there just kind of gives me this feeling you've got this dissolving light, although the moon is going to be the brightest it can be, on the 3rd. All right, let's begin this. There is a light so intense, so powerful, that nothing other than itself, its own truth, can exist in its presence. It is the sacred seed, the star of your being, lit up from within. It is the light that never goes out. It is the light that is so powerful, it is beyond duality of light and dark. It cannot even be distinguished or diminished. And quite simply, beyond all logic, just is. Certainly no lie or deception, no boundary or defense can remain intact in its presence. The blazing divinity of this light sears through any pretense. It annihilates illusion and takes us into stark experiences of divine truth. It is gentleness, and yet it cannot be overcome. It is enduring power, and yet it is tender. Though you seek the divine and even know it as love, you also know that it is fierce, wild, inexplicable, and demanding beyond all measure. It wants you completely and utterly without condition. There will be times in your life, such as now, where there's something not worthy of you that must be released. This is a falsehood, a lie or deception of some sort that you have come to believe about your life, or perhaps even another. You may know what that deception is, or it may be about to be unveiled. It is not a cause for fear or concern, but for celebration. An illusion or soon will be released, or you shall become free in a way that only truth can provide. This oracle comes to you as a sign of that which is to come, and soon. The beloved divine presence is calling to you, igniting within your deepest being so that it may have its way with you. The divine wishes to live through you and into this world, reaching into the hearts of many and igniting those hearts into greater life. It is a clever and insatiable lover. It will stop at nothing until the entire human race is restored to the wild, divine freedom of ecstasy, divine reunion, completely and utterly ignited in love. And so the great lover, the divine, calls for you to enter into the white-hot field of its passionate presence. There will be sizzling and burn. It cannot be otherwise. It's the height of summer. You cast aside the layers of your clothing you require in the winter. This is natural. You do not think twice about it as you approach the radiant sun of divinity. Your emotions and physiological layers are to be shed too, for they are too heavy for that heat of the great spiritual sun. What cannot stand the heavenly heat is to be cast aside swiftly by conscious choice, or shall simply burn up, dissolving in the light and melting away. What is left shall be what is true. So here is your guidance, sweet lover of the great beloved. Sorry. Give it up. The smallness, the conditions, the fear and doubt, the lack of reverence for yourself and life, the belief that somehow things are not okay and aren't going to work out. That is all a paltry attempt at truth. You are coming into a truth now that is far more worthy of you. A truth with a capital T, the big truth, and that is love and trust and surrender. This is about a sacred shedding without fear or holding back. Cast aside whatever you hold you back rather than free you to fly into your divine destiny. You are not to be the same from this moment on. This is the holy word, the word inscribed in living divine fire in your sacred heart. This oracle brings you guidance. Trust in your changing perceptive and perceptions. Don't hold on to what you once believed or thought to be true. Allow yourself to be shown another version of events, another way of perceiving. Don't focus what is not working in your current estimation of things, for that is nothing more than a passing opinion. You are being given an opportunity to see and know yourself, others, and particularly life circumstances very differently. Embrace it. Don't resist what is being shown to you. For even if there are some struggles in adjusting your view at first, ultimately this change in perception will free you and bring you more deeply into the wellspring of your own peace and happiness. I love my oracle card.
I love your oracle cards too. I'm telling you what, I really want to ask our audience to, if you even have to replay that and listen to it, because there's going to be some key words that are going to come up in the energies this month that are so spot on with that oracle. First of all, Venus is going retrograde. That's our heart center. This talked about, our heart center. And it also talked about, our core essence or coming into our own light. Well, the sun is going to move into Leo, and that's exactly what Leo wants. Leo is all about your core essence. And then, Chiron is there too this month, and Chiron is going retrograde, and it is, all about releasing those wounds. And sometimes, things are a struggle, but, instead of struggling against it, struggle with it to get towards that transformation is really what our mantra needs to be. So I just wanted to point that out because I really want you to think about some of those words from that oracle as we go through the rest of the readings as well as the energies for this month. So we're going to start out with the sun in Cancer, which, that went into Cancer earlier here in June. And Cancer energy is all about, being the nurturer. It's ruled by the moon. It's the mother. It's the sign of the mother, or how you self-nurture yourself and nurture others. But it can also be very inconsistent. And so one day you may feel like full of steam, and the next minute you just feel like relaxing. And that's okay when we're in the Cancer season, because it is more of a time of kind of stepping back and relaxing a little bit and nurturing ourselves as well as those around us. And, I want to say too that in this last few days, the moon has been in Scorpio, right at the same time here as Neptune is going to go retrograde. So you all may have been feeling this past week a lot of, just a lot of emotions. There were 5 planets in water this past week. Water, again, is a very emotional sign. Cancer is a water sign, but Cancer is also a fixed sign. So it can be, very strong in its beliefs. So, if you're feeling some kind of funky with this sun in Cancer, it's for a purpose, because it does want you to look at each day on its own. Like, how am I feeling today? How am I going to nurture myself today? So, so maybe we want to pull a card about how, what's the best energies around nurturing.
Oh, well, we will pull on that. So I know a lot of people don't know the depths of astrology. Like Chiron, that's that wounded warrior planet that sneaks around kind of in the dark doing its little dance to kind of keep us on our toes. And it's also, to me, it's kind of that planet that we have to overcome, because it is kind of a fear factor and things that hurt, right?
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's get some current energy on today.
Because this Cancer energy really is, for a good part of July. The sun doesn't move into Leo until July 22nd.
Okay. So the card I get here is the 7 of Pentacles, and this is the card of Taurus. And this is about harvesting results, and it's about the work paying off. But this is the work you have to put in. And it's also something that they're milestones to reach, right? And we're all moving towards another milestone right now. And I feel this card is telling us and not to rush too. It's showing that we're persevering. We're showing progress right now and moving into the things that we need to put our work into, and the things that we want to put our hearts into. I mean, this guy is polishing that shiny, and he's taken the time because he's put so much work into those energies, and he's showing that he's nurturing that. And I think that's also too, you talked about Cancer, about nurturing yourself and nurturing others. It's about what we've nurtured in our work, and that is spiritually, with our kids, with our jobs, with, you know, all those things that we work hard to bring into this world. And it's not the little stuff, these are the bigger things. I think the family, the relationships, our foundations. I mean, the Pentacles are all about our foundations, and it's that earthy grounding, things that we need in this world to keep us sound. So how does that apply to our current situation in the stars, Cindy?
Yeah, so, you know, for me, I think that, like I just talked about Cancer, right? And so Cancer is kind of like the prelude to going into the sun in Leo. And so again, like it should be a little bit more chilling, relaxing time, because it's coming, like it's going to be here soon. Those building blocks, we're building towards something. And also in this month, we have a lot of transformation where we are trying to let go of those past wounds due to Chiron going retrograde. So when we look at,
I got to stop you right there, because I wanted to do this too. Like, look at the bottom of the deck for another message. And what do we have? We have the Star. And this is all about your hope and your strength. And it's connected to Leo through numerology. So it's card number 17. 7 + 1 is 8. And we're talking about Leo here and the strengths to overcome these obstacles. And this is also, you know, it's linked with Aquarius and Uranus. And Aquarius is about the vision. And it's linking you to your vision right now. And it's also letting you know some shit is just going to be as it's supposed to be. And it's about accepting that positively so we can and grow. And put our work into the things that are more about us. And it's about being optimistic while we do it. It is a healing thing, and it's your strength to get you through.
right,
So,
because the sun in Leo, when it moves there on the 22nd, again, the sun loves being in Leo. It's the planet, so to speak, that rules the sign of Leo. And so it's all about our core essence. And, you know, it wants us to figure out who we are, you know, what are our personal goals? How are we developing our own self-confidence? How are we finding our own inner peace? You know, it's here to help us. It's here to help us be successful in all areas of our life, whether it's our career, it's our finances, it's our relationships. You know, Leo is, again, it's shining a light on our core essence, and it really wants us to, you know, move into that. So I just think both of those cards really, really embody both the sun in Cancer and the sun in Leo. So
yeah, well, the Star also is one of those things that it's reminding you too, you have everything you need to be successful. And it's understanding too, you're going to get knocked off that horse. It's about getting back up and dusting yourself off and learning from what you do. And it's also trying to tell you something, you know, if this isn't for you, the reason why you got knocked off that horse, maybe you weren't supposed to be riding it, and realizing that, you know, there's something more about this. And the Star is about an alignment. We're talking about alignments here, right? The stars are aligning for a lot of us. You know, one of the things you're talking about, these are karmic times too. I mean, all these
so, you know, and the thing is too, what's really beautiful about this month is that, like I said, today, later today, Neptune is going retrograde. Well, normally Neptune is the planet of, you know, kind of like dreams and fantasies and illusions and delusions. It's like wearing the rose-colored glasses or the fogginess of a situation you just can't seem to figure out. But the thing is when it goes retrograde, it actually does the opposite. So it opens up more of our intuition, and it, you know, it wants to bring a lot of soul growth through what we can gain through our own intuition. And then on top of that, we have, you know, Pluto's in Capricorn and Saturn is in Pisces. So, you know, we already talked about Pluto going into Aquarius and how it was going to have to retrograde back a little bit before it fully stations forward in 2025. And again, this is all about transformation, right? So, you know, so Neptune is making, even though it's that foggy, dreamy planet, it's making us more clear through our intuition so that we can transform. But we need to take this little bit of time here in July and look back to, you know, some of those structures of our life that, you know, aren't serving us anymore, or, you know, that we want to release. And you and I did a video already all about Pluto changing signs into Aquarius. So you might want to go back and look at that to get more detail. But before we can move forward in this very transformative month, which I see really playing out a little bit later, like into the fall, it's really starting to ramp up and gear up here because of, like I said, Neptune going retrograde, Pluto going back into Capricorn, asking us to look back a little bit. You know, we could be struggling a little bit right now because, you know, we're just, we have this need to maybe want to move forward really fast right now, but it's still not yet quite the time. Like this month is still a lot of energy to make sure that we are in the right place, because it's a karmic time for not only us, but for, you know, the collective as a whole. So, you know, there's a reason why, if you are struggling right now, there is a reason why you might be struggling, and you need to look to your intuition. And remember Saturn's there to teach us lessons. So, you know, really pay attention to what's happening right now.
So Cindy, while you were talking about that, I was shuffling and the Hierophant flipped over right in my deck of cards at me, and it was sitting there. It's telling you you're ready to learn something, or you're learning it now. And the Hierophant is a divining path, and this is another card linked with Taurus, and it's Venus too. And it's almost like anointing you, and you have to understand this. And it deals with force and form. It's very rigid and very confining, but it's really trying to get you through and get the information to you so you can lead your life. It's a divine light. I always see the Hierophant as a guiding light, because it's the path to knowledge and learning. And this is what we're learning, you know, whether it's in a book or in our life. It's a sacred bonding like this. We're all bound to these stars and these situations, and what is it trying to tell us?
Yeah.
So, you know,
so I don't even think you need to pull a card on that energy. I mean, it flipped out and it told us, it gave us that energy. And, you know, Taurus is stability, you know, so even though you're struggling right now and things may not seem to be stable, you know, that's what we're working for. We're working towards transforming to what's, you know, in our best interest, what's, you know, heart-centered for us, what is stable for us.
Well, and this card tells me it's like urging you to take a calculated risk. I know when I think of Taurus, I think of the bull, you know, but I always sometimes see that bull as having its fence, right? It's the fixed sign. It's really bound by its own fences, correct?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So a lot of this is getting outside your fences. It's out of your comfort zone. It's saying, I need to do something here, and it's going to be outside my comfort zone, but it's in my best, and it's for my best good.
Right. And so then, you know, I want to kind of switch gears too, because this is really important for this month when we're talking about, you know, the structures and the struggles and the, you know, making solid foundations. but we're also working with Mars and Mercury this month. And Mars goes into Virgo on July 10th. And Mars is the planet of action, right? It wants us to improve. Well, Virgo is the sign of like our daily habits, right? In health astrology, it's also the planet that rules like our intestines and our digestive system, or our overall personal maintenance of ourselves. And so we have to have this kind of like mind body connection in order to be balanced and in tune, so that we can know what it is that we want in order to move forward. So I want everybody, while Mars is in Virgo, to really think about, are we honoring our body? Are we, nourishing our body? Maybe, you make a dietary change, or maybe you just get out in nature a little bit. I know we got all that fire smoke out there, but, just maybe a walk, or getting in tune with your pets, or just really thinking about that mind-body connection, where we need to cut back on things that are not serving us well, whether it's indulging in food or alcohol or negative thoughts or whatever it may be. That's really what Mars in Virgo is asking us to do, is to take a review of our personal maintenance systems.
Again, while you were talking, I'm shuffling, and the Tower come out, and the Tower is that Scorpio energy. It's Aries and it's Mars, and it's about change, right? It could be sudden, it can be changes you create, it can be changes the universe creates, but ultimately, towers have to happen so you can. If they weren't built on solid ground, they're not going to survive anyway. So you need to let those fall. You need to heal from those, right? We had the star energy, and we need to move on. Two cards came out while I was shuffling. The other one, the moon, Pisces. And that the moon card is, we can deceive ourselves in that moonlight, right? If we're trying to get in too much of a hurry. The moon is about revealing stuff. You've got to sit through it and watch it. And we also have another alignment, the star we saw earlier, and we have the moon, full moon on the 3rd, linked with this dissolving light, our oracle card. I really feel the moon is trying to connect us to ourselves. So the moon is card number 18. Okay. 1 + 8 is 9. The 9th card of the major arcana is the shadow self card. It's the Hermit, the card of Virgo.
There you go, full circle.
There's hidden truths to be discovered. That's what the moon does. And it's the choices between right and wrong. We can make those choices in our own dark, or we can bring some light to it and make the choices that really resonate to ourselves. And it's also revealing the path of the known and the unknown. We know what we know, and we know what we don't, or we don't know what we don't know. But it is this path we must lead. And it's also telling us, don't overthink things, because you'll be stuck in that dark for a while. It leads to the devil energy. The moon is also linked with Neptune, and it's like, what are you seeing right now? And you seeing things as they truly are, because when you do that self-realization and you can bust that tower, there is a whole new landscape in which to make your next creation. So
let's stop on that word creation, because the next two energies are about Mercury. So Mercury goes into Leo on July 11th, and then it switches into Virgo on July 28th. And so, Mercury is our mind, and it can be very creative, right? So whatever you're creating, whatever that creation is, whether it's, creation can even be finances, creating more finances, creating a loving relationship, creating, new content for your work or your business, or, maybe you're an artist and, just being artistically creative. So Mercury in Leo is really good for that. And then when it moves into Virgo, it wants us to refine that. It wants us to refine our thoughts around, what we are creating, and in whatever area of your life that is.
Yeah, the moon's about exposing painful secrets, and it's also some subconscious triggers, and they also start to blur the lines between reality and the fantasy, the rosy glasses here. A lot of the moon can expose hidden secrets, hidden agendas, and it's also one of those kind of energies that makes us very suspicious, and that's also one of those things that get the mind off track, and you're now involved with this exterior stuff rather than it's trying to reveal your shadow self, your true self, the true agenda you have, not everybody else's.
Yeah. And I'm not surprised that comes up because, the next energy that I want to talk about is that Chiron going retrograde. It goes retrograde on July 15th in the sign of Aries.
Ooh.
So, Aries, yep, it's that fire sign, it's that action sign. It wants us to move fast, but Chiron does not want us to move fast. Chiron wants us to reflect and wants us to, heal first before we move forward. So when it goes retrograde, that's an opportunity to look at all of your vulnerable areas. Where are you struggling in life, and having the courage to move through those struggles instead of, like I said earlier, succumbing to those struggles. We want to have the courage to move through those struggles. So
and the moon gives us very little light, and so we must intuitively follow our intentions, our what we desire. I mean, it really
right,
is.
Exactly. And don't succumb to thinking that you have to be the best, or being in competition with others, or looking around you with wishful thinking that you are like others, or you have what others have. That Chiron does not want that. It wants you to, look at what is best for you and what will make you most powerful. And, that's what it's here to help you do. And the last time it was in Aries was way back in 2018. So you might want to think about, changes that started back then.
So Cindy, here's the card that pops out. King of Swords. This is air and fire. We're talking about Aries, and the King of Swords, he is the take charge, take action king. This is you or them type of action, because other people can take action for us. This can be a masculine, and don't get hung up on the male or the female. These are just people, or this is the energy that shows discipline and high standards, and it requires us to take action and be our true king here, or own our own truths, is what I feel with that. It's a divine masculine, and air is about communications and thoughts, and Aries is about, and the fire is about taking action. And I also feel like following your passion. And it's a beautiful duality, because we've been dealing with dualities and talking about dualities with all this, there's light and dark. There's always got to have these things so we can discover the truths. And there's stuff right now we all know that requires our immediate attention, and it should be telling you, hey, you need to do this. That's what the tower is setting it up for you. Either do this or it's going to be done for you. Right.
Yeah.
So,
and, the only thing I really want to add to that too, to, kind of finalize when we're trying to, get past our struggles in lives, or our wounds in life, is help. You don't have to do everything on your own. Like, if you need help, like, ask for help, whether it's help from others to take burdens off of your shoulders, or to take work off from your shoulders, or if it's, getting professional help. I mean, whatever help you need, this is the month to do that, because you want to work through this while Chiron is in retrograde.
Right. And the King of Swords, he's about controlling his emotions. He's not a water king. He is an air and fire king. He can use his reason. He has his reasonings for what he does. It's not emotionally driven. Oh, it's really thought and what's best logically. And that's the best thing to do for us, is logically what makes sense, what action is your action to own. These are all our different actions. You guys all have these different actions to take, but it's telling you to take action, right? And
yeah, and again, that's really important right now in this month, because the other energy that we have is Venus is going retrograde in the sign of Leo on July 22nd. So this is going to be an invitation to look at your passions and to focus on your intentions. And so we need to, be clearing out those struggles and those wounded feelings so that we can do that. What are you going to be inspired to do? What do you want to reignite in yourself? How can you honor how creative you are?
Right. And, this card is telling us also you got to be objective right now. And the Moon card was telling us that too. You need to have that self-awareness of what's going on, discerning truth and being objective. So there's that means there's a lot of information coming that can help you along the way, as long as you're seeing those for what they are and not through the rose-colored glasses. You're actually seeing the truth. I mean, this card is the truth. The only other truthful card, the most powerful one, is the Ace of Swords.
Yeah. And and the other thing is too, is that I can't, we're going to talk about the nodal axis are changing. And that's going to be the I versus the we, which we also did a video on that. And you might want to go back and look at that to refresh yourself on the eclipses and how the nodes change and the themes that those can bring over the next 18 years. But, with that Venus retrograde too, we don't want to give away our power. And that leads us right into that, kind of nodal change, where there has to be a balance. There has to be a balance between our, what we want to create without giving away our power to someone else.
So when you're talking about that too, we got the Eight of Swords here, card of Gemini. And this is, feeling trapped or stuck, trapped in your own thoughts or stuck in your own ways. And the only way to really do this is to really start taking those small steps towards I really feel like your goals, and getting yourself out of your head and getting into action. Like this card I always feel like tarot is telling, every card has something and it's teaching you to overcome. And probably the hardest thing we'll ever overcome is our own thoughts, Gemini, and how we think. Because those also start to reveal those other things with our emotions and how we feel. And when those are out of balance, we've seen these people, or we've been in these situations where we lose our cool or lose our stuff, and we create more problems than logically we could have avoided this situation altogether. But that's all part of higher learning and what we're all trying to do in this life.
Right. Right. And remember, Saturn is playing a big part this month too. So and when you that card with your thoughts, what is that? Now that is Mercury, right? So when Venus is in Leo, we want to put our thoughts aside, and not really our thoughts, but our ego. Set your ego aside for a bit and be more humble and be more honest with yourself. Like, yeah, maybe I am doing that wrong. Like, for example, if this falls in your third house of communication, then where Venus is, well, then maybe you need to look at the way that you talk to people and how you react to people.
Right. So while you're talking, another king. We got a lot of kings around here. This, to me, this king is the highest of the third highest. The King of Swords is the upper echelon. The next one is Pentacles, and then you get King of Water and King of Fire. You know, fire being that young energy. But this King of Pentacles, is Earth and Fire. All the Earth signs we just talked about: Capricorn, Virgo, and Taurus. Right, and we've got a lot of Taurus on this table. King of Pentacles is all about securing things for the long journey. And it's right now, it's about securing your self-image. And this king runs his own show. You know what I mean? This king is also the slowest of the king. He's very grounded in all he does. So those are the kind of bodies that I really feel like when we talked about controlling emotions and thoughts, fundamentally, this king's telling us to stay grounded and focused on those things that are going to last, have longevity to them, and not these, you know, like the Knight of Fire, Knight of Wands, where it's just quick, burn your shit up. And, you know, this is more a long-term right now than it is the immediate, in my opinion. And this is what it's telling us to do. It's telling us to be ambitious too. This guy didn't earn all that big pentacle sitting on his ass. You know, he was ambitious and he took the initiative. King of Swords, he took the action to get that. You know, I always just ask people, what are you doing to get that coin? What are you looking to build for the long term? You know, and if you're in a short-term situation, those small steps help when you look back. Wow, you built so much. You know, it's how you look at things too. You know, that star card is always about remaining positive. You know, and if you're not building anything and you're stuck in the same situation, you should look at this king and realize he had a vision, and he had to work a long time for that pentacle. It didn't just show up in his lap.
Right. And so what about your own personal mantra that, you know, I am worth more? You know, I am worth it. I am worth more. I mean, I'm sure every king in the kingdom has said that at one point or another.
And this king is the great provider too. And, you know, the universe is always can provide us. We always have the tools to do it, to do any situation. How we yield those tools is how we yield the results. And you know what I mean? And the embodiment of these kings is to find that abundance and seeing the truths and living those. Those kings are there for a reason, because they earned the right to be the king.
Yeah. And I'm not really surprised that a lot of Taurus energy is showing up in the cards too, because, you know, we had a lot of Taurus energy through the month of June. So again, this month of July is the beginning. And I know we say that a lot in astrology, it's the beginning. Well, there's a lot of stops and starts. And especially because when we have those retrogrades, and this month when we have Venus and Chiron both going retrograde, you know, that can tend to lean into more stops and starts. But it's all a process, right? And this process is starting and has been starting. It's really been starting probably since April, when we started the astrology calendar year. And it's really this month kind of coming to a point where, you know, we need to be reflective. We need to, you know, get past our struggles. We need to, you know, lean into that Venus energy and, you know what our worth is in because I'm telling you, when we get to this fall, when we are together probably in October, where you're really going to start seeing some things charging forward if you're doing the work now. So, go ahead.
So the one thing about that this King of Pentacles, you know, he envisions success. And he was the one, he realizes that to earn that, you must go out and do the work. You know what I mean? So, and it takes that time and it takes that perseverance. And this is, this is a long-term journey, one that is meant to be helping us with our foundations for our growth. I really feel like that, because the king is saying, run your own show, do your own thing, and find your own truth. That other king of swords was just there.
Yeah.
And Queen of Pentacles comes out with that. You know, that's the nurturing queen. And right below the king. You know, sometimes if it's two people making these coins, if, you know, people who have their couples, this is a good energy. It's about being generous and practical. Practicality is so much. It's about feeling welcomed in your own body, in your own soul, in your own place. And also, she's so nurturing. And she's realizing that she needs to take care of herself, because that coin she has is so important. It's something she's created her. And again, male, female, don't get stuck on that. But there is a sense of responsibility to the situation for everybody. I mean, there is this thing that has to be overcome. This is earth and water. Maybe it is emotions, now that we talk about, you know, because emotions can play so much. What are you building right now that's for the long term? I think that's the biggest question this is trying to tell us right now. What is our long-term goals? And do we see ourselves successful? And are we willing to do the work to get there and overcome the obstacles that are ahead? Right? This is a power reading. It's about being powerful. We're trying to help people and embrace their journey, no matter how tough it is, but also realize the light at the end of the tunnel, and that you have all the tools to be successful here. The universe gave you that. You just got to discover those things. And through the discovery is through the pain and the anguish and the success and the failures and the ups and the downs and the way life is. And right now we're on a roller coaster, and they can be really exciting for some people, and they can also make others throw up. You know, so are you excited for this journey, or is it something that makes your stomach turn? Because it could be either for any of us. I know my journey is very exciting, but it also makes my stomach a little nervous. But
oh, I hear you there. I hear you there. So then let's just talk about you know, when, you know, like you mentioned it again there about just being humble, right? And that's what the next energy is going to be, that full moon in Capricorn that I want to talk about, because that's going to be asking us to check in. Because remember, Capricorn is like kind of like the taskmaster, right? It's the one that wants to achieve its goals. So, you know, it's here at the beginning of the month. So it's actually asking a lot of these energies that we just talked about with Venus and Chiron and Mercury and Mars. It's kind of asking you to, you know, here at the beginning of the month, check in with yourself. How are you doing relationships? You know?
yeah, so while you were talking, we got the Judgment card that came out, card number 20, Pluto and Scorpio. This is connected to the High Priestess. We all know the High Priestess is card number 2. So Judgment is 2 + 0 is 0. This is also linked with Cancer and Pisces and Justice, because it breaks down to number 11, another divine magic number. And Libra is trying to deal with balance. You know, these are accepting things and releasing the past so we can move on. Judgment, once it's done, this is where the new cycle, this is where we get our rewards too, because we did work for this. We talked about karmic times. I know we talked before we got started how karmic these things are right now. And it's, I'm going to flip the card on the other side, because this is right now it's telling you you'll be wise to practice self-evaluation. And the second card that came out, the Hermit again, card of Virgo, go within yourself. And understand, if you've been bad, you're going to get the bad. If you've been good and being your higher self and searching for your higher self and your higher good, karmic things will come to you. And these are where the right choices are made. And these are leading towards a transformation that we require in our life to judge, to move this on. And when the judge and decision is done, there's no going back. There's no appeal in this. You can go and try and do it again. That's a karmic dead end, or you can learn from it and move on and then go after what you're ready to go. And it's leaving behind exactly what you need to. It's not taking anything with you, because you need this too to find your calling, your journey, and you need to listen to yourself, self-evaluation, your own introspective. The Hermit card is the dark night of the soul. You know, that's a hard thing when you've got to go through and realize your own truth. That is not the easiest thing on the planet to do. And it is your higher perspective here soon. It's telling you need to withdraw from something. You talking about alcohol, drugs, and you know, what do we need to take a break from? And we're searching for truth here in this. This is our guiding light. That's what that hermit has, is one light, and he's very wise. I also am linking it to that moon, as we could be in some dark energy, right? But there's always light there. You know, people get stuck in the dark, they don't realize their own light. And their own light will get them out of there through their own introspections and revealing their own truths to them, whether it's through their life and it's being shoved in their face as a reflection, or if it's through their own life where they're developing and growing from their experiences and leaving behind the things that failed and just taking apart the lessons that we've learned. That's how this hermit got here. He was very wise. He got old too for a reason, because he had to live all of that energy. Harvest card, like you said, judgment, karmic times.
And you know, if you've been doing the work, if you embrace everything that we've been talking about here, you know, we have that new moon in Cancer on the 17th. And it is being challenged by Pluto, which is the planet of transformation, but it's also meeting up with the North Node and the South Node, which is again asking you to change. You know, it's like, I feel like if you do the hard work, there's going to be lots of choices. Like, you know, whatever is your journey right now, whether it be about career, or it be about finances, or it be about relationships, you know, as kind of the big three broad areas, you know, you're going to have lots of choices, because it is a time where, you know, you can have everything that you want if you lean into these energies and you do the work.
You have to ask yourself the questions, and then does your answers align to your values? And if they don't,
Exactly. Your heart center, Venus.
Yeah.
We really got a lot of Venus energy this month. So that's all about, you know, your values, your heart, your, you know, what's good for you.
What are you looking for? What are you looking for? You know, we're all looking for something different here. You know, our audience there, what are you guys looking for? You know, please leave some comments too, like and subscribe, and help us understand more of your journey, so that we can connect too with our audience and with the universe, so we can bring our light to you all. I mean, this is what our journey is to be the light in the dark. We've had a lot to overcome ourselves too. It hasn't been sunshine, unicorns, and all that good stuff neither. But it has been a transformative path that I'm so thankful for, and thankful for all the people I've met. Cindy, you being the, you know, and then even the bad ones too. I'm thankful for them, because they taught me something through a lot of pain and torture. But we're there. We've overcome that. We've healed.
We're there. I'm telling you, Bret, I feel it. I feel that, at least for myself personally, and I hope I can send out, you know, a light, a healing vibe, you know, a prayer of good wishes to all of you out there, that, you know, we've all struggled, even the two of us that are here trying to talk to you about it. So, you know, but I can feel it. I can feel it. It's around the corner. It may not be here right today, but it is around the corner, and we all deserve it. We all are worth whatever, you know, greatness that life can bring to us. And, you know, as my part of my closing vibe is, you know, don't revert to the past. Don't revert to those bad habits and patterns. You know, just use any of those struggles, as lessons to move forward during these times.
Take advantage of opportunity, those good opportunities when they come, and also use logic over emotions. And if you're even connected to the
In
two,
fear, don't, that's another thing that holds us all back a lot is fear. Like it may not even be a struggle that we have. It could just be our own personal internal fear, like fear over finances or fear of, is this the right relationship, or fear of, should I change a job or should I stay in this job? That we, don't set that fear aside, just like you set your ego aside. When you're trying to get in tune with yourself and to know how you need to move forward.
no, very good with that. And I'm going to close up with the last two cards I get for a closing vibe. We get the Nine of Pentacles, card of Virgo again. And this is about
Rebuilding.
Yeah, it's about self-care. It's about nurturing yourself. It's about being independent too. Look how free they are. They're all enjoying themselves. And this card is focused on you, the person. It's about taking care of yourself and doing something good for yourself rather than doing it for others, which, you've got to start with self before you can do anything for anybody else. So always use that and understand too, do these things without feeling guilty. You deserve it. You earn it. Sometimes you have to crack an egg to make an omelet. We all sometimes we've done these readings too, where you're the lion and the deer. We embody both the light and the dark in our lives. I mean, you know what I mean? And it comes and it goes with us too. The other card that's underneath there, Four of Cups, Cancer energy. If you're closed off and you're not open to any receiving or giving, this is not good. This is not a good energy you need to be in right now. You need to open your mind, get out of these boundaries. This is asking you to find new interest because it's somewhat of a stuck energy. Some of us are stuck in our thoughts or financially. I mean, there's so many ways to be stuck here. But this is also a contemplation card. I am thinking about doing something here. And the negative energy, there's a negative energy with negative thoughts will keep us here in this cup, closed off and unavailable forever. Maybe we are feeling disconnected because we're not really connecting with ourselves. We're trying to connect with other energies that are there, and they're just not the ones we need to connect with. We need to connect with ourselves first before we can truly connect with others in a way that we can truly connect, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah, embrace your creativity. Let Venus rule your heart. Embrace your self-worth. Embrace is the word that keeps coming to me.
Yeah, that card is one of those things, it's feeling discouraged and unmotivated. And that's what we need to get out of. That's the trapped energy. That's what the dark tries to do to us. It tries to sniff out our light. And we've got to realize we're that light. And we actually are like a dimmer switch. We can turn it on or shut it off. We own the controls. We can let other people fuck with those dials. But ultimately, we own that switch. And how do we shine our light into this world that's all part of everybody else's journey too. So I'm going to leave it on that note, Cindy. And that
let's leave it on that note. And again, I encourage everyone to leave some notes if they can, because I'm excited to hear and see what this might mean for us next month. So until then, peace be with you all, and God love you.
Yes, thank you all. Please like and subscribe and check out Cindy's page. Those links will be in there. My links will be in there. Look us up. Cindy's got your stars, and I've got the energy around you. And I love to connect with people. This is fun in the general sense, but the one-on-one stuff is the magic to me. Everybody's own personal journey. I know you too, looking at all the different, it's like a triage when you get an astrological chart. It's like, okay, here's the bad and the ugly, here's what's going on in your body and your soul and your life. My way, it's like, this is the energy of the now. Like, I
can bring all of these energies right down to you. What your chart says this is meaning for you.
And the
specific.
tarot, yeah, the tarot's the same way. These cards reflect you. Every time I throw them out there, I know why they're trying to talk to you. And you know why when we start talking about it. And it's just magic. I call it magic, but it's the magic of the universe and the gifts we all have. We all have these gifts. We've just found ways to unlock it, or life is unlocked, helped us unlock this. I mean, I didn't start this. This whole journey has been a huge process, one that I have now started taking serious over the last year, especially. And I'm so thankful I stepped through that threshold of fear and failure and self-doubt, and I'm feeling myself start to thrive, revive, and grow. And it was a transformation. It was a death of something, so that something new and bigger and more beautiful could grow. So trying to embody that. I hope all you are too. Love you all the best from my Pisces soul to yours. Cindy, thank you so much. And we will talk to you guys soon. Namaste, my friends.